Hello and welcome to a special NGB podcast. This time round, you've got me, Ben, and you've got Asim sat all the way over there.
Yeah, I'm right over there. You can't see me, but I'm right over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
And we are going to spoil the shit out of Metal Gear Solid 5. So if you haven't finished up to Mission 46, don't listen to this podcast unless you want to troll people with spoilers.
Yeah.
Fair warning, there will be plenty of spoiler warnings all over the place. The fact that it will say SPOILERCAST should probably give it away, but we are going to spoil everything. Probably really through the Metal Gear saga. I think saying we're going to spoil Metal Gear Solid 5 is a bit of a small statement to make, given that it links a lot of stuff up. So
if you haven't played Metal Gear, then fuck off, play it, and then come back and listen to this. Sorry to put it in a blunt way.
Yeah. So essentially, this is a Metal Gear fanboy cast.
It is.
Cool. Right. So hopefully, people still listening are the cool ones that like Metal Gear Solid. So right, let's basically go through Metal Gear Solid 5. You played it for review and you finished it twice now?
I finished it twice, yeah.
Yep. I finished it once through, finished it a couple of weeks ago. We actually meant to do this a couple of weeks back, like the day after I finished the game, but Skype had its massive, major series of downtime and we've just not been able to get free. But let's just say, what we think and how we reckon that how we reckon it turned out and the way that it bridges everything. So if you want to kick it off...
I'll kick it off. There's been a lot of stuff in the press and websites and media and stuff right now. I'm just gonna go off my opinion. I'm not gonna go anything else. I still really like the way it's done, and some people might say it's unfinished, this and that. So basically, again, massive spoilers. You find out Mission 46 that all the time you're not playing as Big Boss. You're playing as his Phantom, who's basically some medic guy who was on the plane, on the helicopter in Ground Zeroes, who kind of got in front of Big Boss and took most of the damage. Mm-hmm. And you're playing as him, who's basically had surgery at the start and been made to look like Big Boss. And that's the big reveal. That is essentially the big reveal. And you're playing as this Phantom, who's known as Venom Snake. Big Boss is out somewhere else, building Out of Heaven, the true Out of Heaven. And some people might see that as a disappointing ending. Kojima calls it the missing link, and if you're looking at it technically, it is a link. It is a link because what it does, it links to the first Metal Gear. So essentially, you find out that Solid Snake in the first Metal Gear, the MSX one, he's basically killed the Phantom, not Big Boss. Mm-hmm. So it does. So in essence, because it does what he said. It's a missing link, and he was always going to have some sort of twist. It wasn't always going to be as straightforward as we thought it was. I didn't see it coming, to be honest. I'll be very, very honest and say I didn't see it coming. So when I finished it the first time at the review event, I was just like, wow, I did not expect that. I was just totally like, wow, this is crazy. And then like the way it ends, and then you get him in front of the mirror listening to the tape. Mm-hmm. I thought that was done really well. I thought the way the last mission was basically 46, which is basically the first mission, the prologue, seeing it from a different angle essentially and seeing the truth. I thought that was done really nicely as well. I really thought the music was good, and the way like he's talking and stuff, it had some weight to it. Mm-hmm. I thought that was well done. And yeah, I generally liked the ending, the way it sort of linked into Metal Gear, and kind of made sense a bit. The fact that Solid Snake went into the first Metal Gear and killed the Phantom, and he thought, oh shit, he survived. He didn't survive. It was the real Big Boss who was actually alive somewhere else. So that in that essence, it did make sense. So I still like it. A lot of people say unfinished. You can only review and talk about what's been put in front of you.
Yeah.
And as what was put in front of me, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Story wise as well. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'll probably agree with most of what you've said. I think the way that I mean, Kojima's famous for retconning stuff. He'll bring up a thread in one game, and then the next game he'll sort of try and twist it round into a different narrative, and you'll think, oh, okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense. And he's famed for doing it. And I think this is essentially the ultimate retcon, where you killed Big Boss twice. But you didn't kill Big Boss twice. You killed fake Big Boss once, and then you killed the real Big Boss in the second game. Well, no, you didn't.
Well, you didn't kill him either. You didn't kill him either. You came back.
You came back at the end of Metal Gear 4. But like that whole twist at the very end, like when that scene played out in front of the mirror, my head was completely swimming. I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit miffed because I kind of had it spoiled. Without me realizing it. I think one of the first things was on our video review, there was someone on there that said there was some little comment about not playing as Big Boss and you're playing as the medic, and like there was a comment there.
I didn't see that
basically straight away, and I think we actually spoke about it, and we sort of said, what the hell is this guy on? And I think you basically tried to dispel it and went, oh no, I don't know what the hell he's on about. You
I don't want to ruin it for you, maybe.
Yeah, totally, and that's fine. But like the more as I kind of got to the end of the game, I sort of saw a few more things coming up, and I thought to myself, what the hell are people talking about? I think
the point you probably think about it is when they do the test on Eli, who's basically liquid, and they're like, oh, it's come out negatives. He's not related to you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I had my own little theory on that I sort of sent you a message at the time where I thought to myself, you know what, it could be that the third child, or Psycho Mantis, was controlling him, and in somehow he was affecting his DNA, which could have caused that. That was my theory at the time. And then when we when the reveal obviously happened, you put two and two together, and you just go, holy shit, I mean, I've got my issues with the game, and I've got my issues with the structure of the back end of it, but
we'll talk about that.
And we will discuss that. But like as a Metal Gear fan, I loved it. Like there were bits where it lost me. I'm not going to lie and say everything was amazing, but it kind of went from like if you were looking at it from a narrative point of view, you had like missions 1 to 26 or 27. It was just like 10 out of 10, absolutely 10 out of 10. This game is amazing. Nothing can beat it. It's just phenomenal. And then like towards the bit where you fight Sahelanthropus, and you've got the leading up to the battle with Sahelanthropus, you're there and you're going, yeah, okay, cool. This is good. It progressed very, very quickly, and then I was thinking this. When the Metal Gear fight happened, I was just there thinking, oh, okay. Felt a little bit let down, and I thought, it's still like a very, very high 9 out of 10. Yeah. And then as the sort of secondary missions played out after that battle, it just kind of instantly went from a 9 out of 10 back up to a 10, and I just thought this game is just incredible. Like some of the stuff that happens towards the end of the game is absolutely crazy. Let's talk actually, while we're on that subject, about Mission 51.
Sure.
Which is on the it's on the collector's edition Blu-ray, and if you've not seen it by now, it's on YouTube on countless fucking sources. Essentially, what that does is it wraps up what happened to Eli.
Because obviously he just goes away. Which I thought was fine, to be honest. Because I thought it was fine. I was like, it kind of leaves it to your imagination. I thought, okay, it's fine. But then it was only until obviously I watched the collector's edition Blu-ray. I was like, okay, it would have been cool if that was in the game. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been so cool to play that out. But as it was, I thought it was fine. It was like kind of left a bit of intrigue. It was like, okay, then you kind of figure out in your own mind, okay, how that leads on to Metal Gear Solid 1, where he's obviously asking for Big Boss's remains. Obviously, he's in collusion with Psycho Mantis and blah blah blah. So it kind of like you kind of make your own thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I thought that was fine. But 51 itself, if it was in the game, it would have obviously added to it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing for me. I kind of saw that and I just thought, you know what, I'd obviously finished it around the time that all of this stuff was coming out in the press about the game not being finished and the ending being shit and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
and it was around the point, obviously, where a lot of people were getting to the end of the game and a lot of people were pissed. Now, I wasn't pissed off about it. As I've said, I thought that whilst it wasn't perfect, it wrapped things up nicely, and that was the biggest missing point. The missing thread for me was where, how what happened to Eli and his band of merry children. They kind of all disappeared on this massive walking robot, and it's like, did nobody notice that? Like, did they just land it in on a desert island or whatever?
What was the mission called? It was called
something of the Flies, Kingdom of the Flies, I think it was.
Kingdom of the Flies, yeah.
And obviously that's a rip on Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies,
which is it's hinted at in the game because throughout the game you've got Eli and he's got his conch, which is one of the biggest symbols of Lord of the Flies. And I thought it was a nice little touch that was brought back to the level that it was. But again, I think. We'll get on to what we think in terms of the, Kojima Productions troubles and all the rest of it. But the fact that it was presumably cut from the game, whoever's decision that was, it was obviously relatively far along in terms of progress. I mean, the cutscenes were all.
Yeah, the cutscenes were there. There was there was some lip syncing, obviously that wasn't.
Yeah,
there.
I mean there were no facial animations and that sort of stuff, which is obviously the last thing that comes into the into the animation side of it. But the majority of it was there. There were some basic effects that were in there, and you think that could have been really cool.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There must have been a reason behind, obviously, without getting too much into it.
Yeah, and whether it was Kojima's decision or whether it was a decision made up, and that was potentially what caused the rift, or it could have been anything. But
I think
we will never know this.
Yeah, I think if Kojima wanted it in the game, it would have been in the game. Put it that way. There was, it was obviously quite far along in terms of being done.
Yeah.
So Kojima wanted it in the game. I'm pretty sure it would have been in the game. Obviously, it's well documented that Kojima spent a lot of Konami's money on it.
The figure
weren't happy about that.
I think it was Nikkei said that it was about $80 million, which is just like it's a crazy amount of money. That really is.
You're working on it for a long time, and the resources and stuff like that. It's gonna cost $80 million.
Yeah,
is a big chunk, and it's fair of Konami at that point to say, look, we want some return on our investment now. Like, you got to come out and produce.
Yeah.
No matter what developer it is, like, I love Kojima, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, if you're given 80 million, you've got to produce at the end of the day at some point. You can't just be given limited amount of budget and just be told, just keep continuing. That's just not going to happen. Not in this day and age. This is not happening at all.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Konami have come under a lot of shit for numerous things in the press, and it's like, maybe some of it's right, maybe some of it's wrong. There's two sides to a lot of things, but there are a lot of stories which kind of sync up with things that I've heard, sync up with things that you might have heard. It's obvious that there are problems at that company, but we're not here to get into that today. For me, it kind of feels like you get to a point in that game and it's like, oh right, okay, this is where the money ran out. And it's around the time you start repeating the missions.
Yeah, it feels like it. The thing is, maybe that's true. Like, we can always all the press and everyone will speculate, but and no one knows the truth apart from Kojima and Konami. That's it.
No, totally. And this is all complete speculation. But
and
to me, as like a hardcore Metal Gear fan, I don't think there's ever been a moment in a game, where that Kojima's made where you think, was this completely his intention, or was this? You've got to make that decision as to whether it was him that chose to do it or whether his hand was forced. And I think some of the stuff in the latter half of the game, just doesn't feel quite right to me. I mean, the fact that the game ends on mission 46 and then the rest of the 47, 48, 49 and 50 are exclusively replayable missions that you've done before.
Yep.
I mean, I've not really done anything after 46. I've gone back and done a lot of side ops, and I've done a lot more playing of just the open world stuff. But as it comes to the missions themselves, I haven't really done much more.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, before we go forward and delve into that stuff, I just want to, because you mentioned to me, and I kind of find it interesting that the whole, like you said, you felt it was a bit rushed towards like leading up to the whole philanthropist stuff. I think you mentioned about the skull face stuff, and like in the end, I thought that was pretty good. Maybe it was a bit quick, maybe, but I think this is a different. Like people have always complained about Kojima, like overly long cutscenes, overly long codec, and he kind of looks at that and addresses it, and you've got these tapes where it feels a lot of the story. I spent a lot of time listening to a lot of tapes, and maybe I've got a bit more of a, I guess, insight into what's going on between Skullface and everything, like his history, because he was basically part of the team that you went and did Snake Eater with.
Yeah, and he was like part of the cleanup crew and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so his motive was like he basically just wants to fuck shit up, really, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, like that's all there, and we will, people like us will dig into that stuff, and we will, we'll spend hours listening to those tapes. And I think it's almost like it's gone the other way, where previously there were these massive, 45-minute long cutscenes where you could just turn your controller off and go make a cup of coffee and sit there and maybe eat your dinner while watching it, that sort of stuff. And then in this game you've not got that at all. Like there aren't any like big cutscenes in the game that I can think of. Though. They are. Don't get me wrong. Like the production
there were, like,
values,
events to look forward to. Like when a cutscene happened, I was like, okay, good.
Absolutely. Like that's not in question. I think that the slight irritation that I had was a lot of the stuff that Kojima's famed for is like the character development and the like the backstory to a lot of the units. Like for example, the units in Metal Gear Solid 3 and Foxhound in the first one. You've got that massive, you've got that huge amount of backstory that is told sometimes through gameplay. It's not necessarily told, in one of those long cutscenes or in a codec conversation, but you do have those moments in the gameplay. And for Skullface, I didn't really get that sense. I just kind of thought, this is a dude that just wants to watch the world burn, to sort of quote the Dark Knight, and it's like there wasn't a huge amount of understanding for that until you get to that late game stage where you've already killed him, and then it sort of like goes on to say, oh, it was because of the vocal core parasites where he wanted to get rid of the English language and things like that. That's I just thought that there could have probably been a little bit more of that incorporated into the first part of the story, into Act 1. But that's my opinion, and I think you've said that you kind of like how it pans out.
I loved how it was done. I really, really do. I think they obviously I'm a core Metal Gear fan as well. Believe it or not, I am. I love Metal Gear. I've been there since the start, pretty much. But things have changed, right? Things have changed. Like the industry's changed, the gaming's changed, and like the way you present stuff now is changed. Like you can't have these hour-long cutscenes, hour-long codec talks, which are great, to those core base. But you've got to be successful in terms of a game of this size. You've got to reach a bigger market. Like you've got to reach that. And I think core fans sometimes have that elitist view that, oh no, it should be all catered towards us. And he's gone out and tried to balance it as best as he can. And I think personally, I think he's done a great job. And there's like I mentioned, there's a cassette tapes. Like if you are a core fan, if you want to spend time, watch just looking at a screen and listening to conversations, you can do that. that's right there for you. Yeah, there's a bit of logic kind of thrown out the window in terms of like who's actually fucking, who's actually recording these tapes. That's a bit weird, but the biggest conversations in the world, again, like the most secret conversations going on. Who's recording these?
Yeah,
but that's within the Metal Gear universe. It's crazy shit. You know what I mean? But I felt it was done great that way, and I felt there was hints. I like the way there was like hints about the whole vocal cord parasite stuff in the soundtrack for the game.
Yeah, I mean, like going back
kill.
to the very first trailer, words that kill. You just think, Jesus Christ! Like looking back at that now,
yeah. And all the promotional artwork as well that was like focused on X-rays. He was trying to show you that you're not playing as Big Boss. He was literally trying to show you that you're not playing as Big Boss. It was right there in front of your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest criticisms I've got of that initial like marketing campaign was the fact that in that first trailer, Miller looks over and goes, "But what about him?" And it's like, okay, so there is a third person,
of course,
and you don't see them throughout the whole game, and that's a criticism I've got of the fact that they really did give it away to a point, but nobody picked up on it.
No one got it. No one got it.
That's in some ways it's genius. In other ways, I did see things beforehand that said, "Oh, what if there's this third person?" And I think there were some people suggesting
I did not think that you were not playing as Big Boss. I'll be honest.
No, totally. And
I thought there was some weird mental shit going on or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, until I'd seen those little spoilery bits, I thought to myself, okay, cool. So it's like a Fight Club situation,
exactly.
You're going to sort of see Brad Pitt and
Edward Norton.
Yeah, so yeah, it's. I'm trying to find the right words. I mean, I've got, I think I've said to you, I do have issues with the game. I have issues with some of the stuff in terms of the progression in the late game. I thought tying some of the stuff into that into the replayable missions, and then you have to do so many of those to unlock a certain part. I know people that have got this game, and I know that they are not going to do those missions because
you don't have to do them. Actually, I found out that you can just do a few like to just wander around, do a few, like if you complete a few side ops and go back to the ACC, it will just progress.
Okay,
will just progress. So you don't have to do them, but I do understand people that will probably think that, oh shit, I have to do these to like progress. Because when I reviewed it and we were at the review, when no one had got that far. So we didn't know what the hell to do to progress. So I just kept doing missions. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep doing these missions. So I actually did the majority of the duplicate missions to progress the story rather than go and do the side ops, which I found out later on.
Okay.
So you can just do side ops to progress, but majority of people probably won't think that.
No, and I mean, that's the thing. Like I know people that play this game and they don't play it using stealth. They don't play it, with the intention of I'm going to get an S rank. They don't necessarily want to play the incredibly difficult missions. And the way that the game's structured, and we'll get onto this as well. The way that the game's structured allows you to play it however the fuck you want to play it, and that is one of the best things about this game. Like I've sold this game to people, and when I've spoken to them, I've sold it to 4 or 5 people at work because I just would not shut the fuck up about this game. And I said, that the point is you have this opportunity where you can go into a base and you look at it and go, right, okay, so there's a guy there, there's a guy there, there's a guy there, I can do this, and I can get my rocket launcher out, I can blow that structure up, it'll pull all the guards over to there, then I can go around this side, and then I can crawl in there, and I can, retrieve this and fuck off.
Yeah.
Or you can just go in with a rocket launcher and just blow everybody up.
Yeah.
Or you can go in stealthily, or, you can go in...
I think the gameplay is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The gameplay is
like, technically...
on perfection.
Technically, and the game, like, in terms of the polish on this game, in terms of the gameplay quality, in terms of the mechanics, in terms of the way that everything interacts with everything else, it's, to my mind, it's probably the best game of all time. Like I cannot think of another game where every system sits so well with every other system.
The way it interlocks, intertwines, the combinations, if you can think it, you can probably do it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I said this to somebody that had played Metal Gear Solid 3, and they said, what can you do in this game? I was like, right, okay. You remember how in Metal Gear Solid 3 you blew the bases up and made the guards hungry? You blew up the supply routes. It's like that was such a little tiny thing in Metal Gear Solid 3 that not that many people would have done a huge amount of.
Yep.
But that's now one of the most important things to do in Metal Gear Solid 5, where the guards react and adapt to what you're doing. So if you put in headshots in them, they'll get helmets. If you go and blow that supply route up with your crews, the helmets will dry up. The supply of helmets will dry up.
Or if you do more missions at night, they'll carry torches. All of them will carry torches
and night vision goggles. That's stuff like that. I just how the fuck did people think about this?
Yeah.
But then you've also got things like the Fulton system, where you just you can Fulton a guy, and then he'll go flying up. His mates will see him, and then you can run around the side of him, and you can Fulton a truck, and everything that you do will somehow play into what you're doing. It's just so crazy.
It's brilliant.
The other thing as well that somebody pointed out that I'd not really thought of was the music. You had the iPod in Metal Gear Solid 4, and you could play tracks from that, while you're doing the missions, and you think, okay, yeah, that's obviously playing into the fact that you've now got the cassette player that can do the same thing but a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
The amount of work and the amount of effort that's been put into this game. I know I know we're both fans. I know people call us fanboys, but Jesus Christ, if you can find a more polished game than this.
No. I mean, we're big fans of the game, no doubt, but we're not stupid either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We might have differing opinions on the stories, which we obviously do, but in terms of gameplay, I think we know. We like to think we know a good game when we see one.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this honest to God,
yeah,
it is one of the greatest games. If from just a purely mechanical and a purely gameplay perspective,
I think that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, and that's why I'm willing to forgive some of the issues that I have with the story. There are some problems with it, but when you can approach anything in any way. I mean, the quiet sniper battle when you have to replay that mission, I was finding it so fucking hard. And then you just text me and said, dude, just take a tank. And I was like, hang on. Yeah, geez, I can just take a tank.
You can take a tank.
You don't think about it. But, of course, that option's there. You Fultoned a tank, so why not use it?
I actually, to be honest with you, I found that in a really, really fucked up way, because I think in the previous mission, I had lifted a tank back with me. And I think the last thing you lift just that kind of comes with you to the next mission. And I just kind of quickly commenced to the next mission. And I was trying it for ages on the harder difficulty. I was like, oh man, I'm struggling here. And I'm trying to get an S rank. I can't do it. And then I just turned around, I was like, there's a fucking tank here. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get in the tank. And it worked. It fucking worked. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, I didn't get an S rank in that mission because I stupidly, after I'd gotten rid of Quiet, I pressed R2 and killed her.
Oh no!
But, because I didn't realize you could do it. But that was one of the things.
You can do it. You can actually kill her and not use her for the entire game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my!
You can kill her.
That is fucking insane.
During one of I'm doing a third playthrough on a different account, and during the first time you come across her in Mission 11, I think it is, I shot her, and that's it. She's dead. Done.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
She's dead.
You can miss out on possibly one of the biggest chunks of the game, with quite possibly the best character of the game.
And that leads us nicely into what I want to say next. She is a flipping amazing character. People will talk about obviously the sexualization of her, and Kojima is a pervert. Let's be honest. Not gonna flipping lie, he is a pervert.
Yeah.
But her look beyond that, and I think some people are making a bigger fuss about it. I think I'm not going to name them, but I think some websites and some of the press do have an agenda here, and they're kind of overblowing it a bit than it needs to be. Okay, he's done it, and he was wrong about people maybe feeling ashamed about it, and his reasons kind of very flimsy in terms of why she's dressed like that.
She breathes through her skin, mate. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
she breathes through her skin. Yeah, I want to breathe through my skin when I go to work next. Like I'll be just completely like wearing like my undies and that's it.
Thing is, though, there was a point that was raised about that, and like I do have problems with Quiet's design. I do have problems with the way that she's portrayed in the game. But as I've said, she's an amazing character. She's probably the best character in this game.
Yeah, she's my favorite
like,
character in the game.
The thing is, like, you know, if she breathes through her skin, I breathe through 2 tiny holes in my face.
Yeah, it's called a nose. Yeah.
I don't need to have massive gaping holes for me to breathe. It's like, you know, just like
the reason it's flimsy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, like the fact is that later on in the game, you've obviously got the two outfits that you can have. You know, you can either have the Sniper Wolf outfit or you can have the Fox outfit, the XOF outfit. Sorry, which the XOF outfit covers more of her body than ever. You know, everything ever would. Yeah. And she still looks like a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like there are problems with it, and you know, like we've said, Kojima's a pervert. Like it's kind of
let's not get it twisted. Yeah, he is. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and there were genuinely moments in that game where I was like the bit towards the end where you go back and you've got like Quiet's final mission. You've got the huge battle with all the tanks and stuff.
That was brilliant.
Just absolutely before brilliant. That, like that cutscene. Where you find Quiet and she's being interrogated and she's about to, she gets dragged outside. That was quite hard hitting. Like that was a big scene, and I thought, you know what, fucking hell, that's fairly brutal.
Yeah.
Then she goes in and she does the shit and like kicks the shit out of the guys, and the building starts to blow up and catch on fire. She walks out of the door, and the camera pans up. And for about 2 seconds, it just stops on her tits. And I fucking face planted so hard into my own lap.
There's numerous times where if you're in the helicopter, she's like bending over in front of you as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, what are you doing? You're making it.
Yeah. Like it.
He's almost courting controversy, which
is
like
so easy to have an agenda and to make that agenda work with that when that sort of shit's happening.
Yeah.
Like.
Definitely. I mean,
I get it. There are problems with it, and I do have problems with it. I'm not going to go over all of them because, you know, A, we'd be here all week, and B, it's been said 1,000 times in the press already. But I do have genuine problems with the way that she's portrayed in some of those scenes.
Fair enough. Okay, you know what? He just sort of just basically come out and said, "I'm a guy. I like boobs. I like arse. This is how my character's going to be.
Yep.
Fuck you." Fuck you.
I would have had zero issues if he'd just come out and gone, yeah, you know what, I like tits, I do. I'm going to stick some tits in my game and you're going to like them.
I like tits as well, you know.
Don't get me wrong, I like boobs more than, you know, as much as the next man. But if you're going to have boobs in your game, say it's because you want boobs in your game, not because she breathes through her skin.
It's like people who watch porn, they don't watch it for the story. Come on, let's be honest. You know what I mean? It's just, let's just be honest here.
Man, imagine if Kojima made a porno.
It'd be like, this is my serious porno, guys. Yeah, no.
But just going back to it, like Quiet is, and
she's a great character.
She's an amazing character, and
it's kind of almost like a love story developing between her and the Venom Snake.
Yeah, I think this is
good.
There are bits in that where, you know, I thought it was a little bit ham-fisted, like the scene of her in the rain. That's one of the issues. You know, that's one of the scenes I've got a real fucking problem with.
But the one where you let her go, like afterwards, I thought that was generally like some touching shit. You know?
Yeah, totally. Like that final scene with Quiet is
where she actually speaks English. Like she's like, "Fuck it, I have to save it."
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Her arc is fantastic. Like the fact that you can go through the entire game without having her in that's just blown my mind a little bit. Like I did not think that would be possible.
You could actually kill her. Yeah.
That's insane.
Go back and try it again.
Yeah, I probably will do, because that's just nuts to me. Now, okay, right. So we let's talk about how it manages to branch everything. So you've got that part where you get to the end of the game and you go, okay, right, you think you've been playing as Big Boss.
Yeah.
The redone hospital scene. You've said that you really liked how it played out. I think they could have done something a little bit different with that.
I think I love the way it played out in terms of what happened. In terms of actually playing it, I thought that they could have skipped moments forward.
Yes,
rather than let you, because the start is really slow and it it's slow. It works at the start because it's a prologue. It's kind of getting you into
it's getting you into teaching you the mechanics of the game.
You don't want to play the same thing again, which I think that I thought it would have been better if they kind of skipped to the points that it actually made sense for you to skip to.
Yes.
Yeah, but apart from that, I thought it was well done.
Yeah, like in terms of narrative, it did really well. But I think the fact that they just basically said, okay, here's the same mission again with a little bit tacked on the end. I thought they probably could have done something a little bit different with that. And the fact that you've got this in your head where you're thinking, okay, so that was Venom Snake that was fighting Solid Snake in the first Metal Gear, and then the big boss came back for the second Metal Gear. What the hell happened there? And it leads me on a little bit to kind of one of the crazy things that I've heard about, discussed.
Theories, yeah.
One of the theories that's kind of gaining a little bit of traction now is the fact that this could have been a fake sequel.
Yeah. It's an interesting theory.
For want of another term. Like, you've got this massive game that's cost $80 million to make, and Kojima once said, I can't remember when or where it was, but he once said that you will not see a Metal Gear game that has a Roman numeral that will be a true sequel.
Yeah, like when you think about it, it was Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, the cover has an actual 2 on it.
Yeah.
3 has an actual 3 on it. 4 has an actual 4 on it.
Yeah.
It's not an I and a V, but this one has a V. And obviously people will say, oh, it's because it's 5 and it's because it's Venom Snake and all that sort of stuff. Okay, fair enough. But
like the way the game ends, you kind of think, okay, so what if his plan was, this is Metal Gear Solid V, which is Venom. Yeah. And then he's actually making Metal Gear Solid 5.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Which is where you find out what happened to Real Big Boss. It's like the concept of that, whilst it's a conspiracy theory, and whilst people are kind of
it's got Kojima written all over it.
Yeah, like they're grasping at straws to think, what's he going to do next? He can't be leaving. This is it. Like that. People are grasping at straws, and they're going, there must be some more Metal Gear somewhere that Kojima's going to make. So, if that's accurate, I mean, I don't know how likely that is, but as you say, it's got Kojima written all over it.
Wouldn't be surprised.
The concept of spending $80 million on a fake sequel is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah.
But every discussion that I have about this game just leads me back to saying, when it's as good as this, I do not care.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, there's some crazy theories out there. Like, obviously, people have got the PC version and they've the kind of like data mine stuff as well. It does seem like, and I think, obviously, I talked about me only, in terms of me reviewing it and giving it a 10. It was just me reviewing what I played. I can't review what's not in there. I'm reviewing what's in there. I'm not doing a review of what's not in there. But it does seem like when people data mine, there was a third chapter for Peace, and like when you do certain FOB stuff and whatnot, there's because it seems like there was a theme about nuclear deterrence.
Yes,
and that goes by the trailer which we saw at E3, was it 2014?
Yes,
which was nuclear. That had the song Nuclear, and it had some bits that weren't actually in the game, where he's sort of like going no in front of the village that's burned down and is whatnot. So all that wasn't in the game. And then people data mine it and find a chapter called I think it was Peace.
Yes,
a chapter called Peace. So it perhaps seems like they were, or maybe it's just because he was fucking with us and like wanting to get some heat on Konami, whatnot. That wouldn't surprise me either. That wouldn't surprise me either after they took his name off the box and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, they took his name off the box, but Jesus Christ, that guy's name is all over it.
I would really love to see someone do like a counter just to see like how many times.
I think they are actually doing it. Giant Bomb are doing a playthrough because there's a guy called Drew at Giant Bomb. Basically, put yourself in this position, right? You've never played a Metal Gear game before.
Yeah.
You've never played a Metal Gear Solid, and you play all 5 Metal Gear Solid games, like all 5 numbered Metal Gear Solid games in the space of 1 year.
Wow.
Imagine what that does to your brain.
Yeah, it's,
and then see what's happened with that. Like, I think it's a premium content only, but there's some like stuff on YouTube of like Metal Gear Scanlan, the best of. Like, yeah, he's playing through 5 at the moment, but like that, like the concept of that's nuts. And there is, you know, in terms of the story stuff, there's just so much to talk about, man. It's fucking crazy.
I think with the thing with Kojima is like he's, even though he wants to be done with Metal Gear, he the people won't let him be done with Metal Gear. People will always find a way. People will always find something like saying like, oh, you should continue. Like, you know, it seems unfinished here or unfinished there. Blah blah blah. In all honesty, Metal Gear 4 ties up everything, and this is basically the link. This is the missing link, which is what he's been saying for a while. And yeah, it does. If you look at it through the timeline, it does link things together. It does what, if you're being technical, it does link it together. Yeah, it might disappoint some people in terms of story wise, who were looking for, you know, answers to everything. But Dan Dawkins, who's a huge Metal Gear fan as well, I think he wrote a piece where I think some people call him a Kojima apologist, which I think is a bit harsh. He's a fan, obviously, but like us, but I think his thoughts tend to mirror mine most of the time. And he wrote a brilliant piece on Games Radar where he was talking about, you know, well, kind of never know it was unfinished or not.
Yeah, but it said, what was it, like Metal Gear Solid 5 unfinished, maybe that's the point or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I can kind of see, you know, I can kind of agree with him. And I think this is the one of the beautiful things about Metal Gear Solid 5 is that there maybe isn't a right or wrong answer in terms of, like, you know, what's happened with the game. Like,
I think the point is, like, the overall point of the game is, and the way it ends, it's showing you, like the player, and people, like, anyone can be Big Boss.
Yeah.
Because at the end, it's showing you as Big Boss. So when you, I don't know what name you put at the start, but I put my name.
Yeah, me too.
Passport, and it's got my name on it. So it's showing you that you could be, you know, you are Big Boss. And even he, like, when he speaks to you on the tape, he's like, you are Big Boss. Yeah. And he smirks and he's like, yeah, fuck it, I am Big Boss, you know? And I think that's, above all, apart from the whole revenge stuff, which is kind of done in chapter 1. It kind of ends with chapter 1. Above all, he's trying to make that point. And I guess there was the, you know, if there was that missing third chapter, I mean, all the Metal Gear games have kind of been about, you know, nuclear deterrence and all that sort of stuff. So maybe that was his kind of final piece of this. We'll never know. But I mean, I think that, like for me, what I took from it was like, you know, this is the missing link. Anyone can be Big Boss. Like, it doesn't, you know, have to be this one person. Like, he became Big Boss because of certain circumstances.
It's more about the legend than the person, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like the myth than the man and things like that.
Which is at one point when I kind of that wraps it up, I got goosebumps thinking about it. I was like, oh my god, this is just amazing. I'm sitting here, and he's, you know, this is amazing. But although the first time, I do have a little story. The first time I did it at the review event, my mind was getting crazy, and I came to like a wrong conclusion. I thought, oh shit, you're playing as Solid the Snake, but obviously, because I was like, oh shit, because like you're essentially, because like Solidus is the third clone, but he's not part of the I guess the project with the kids, so to speak. So I thought, oh shit, maybe we're playing a Solidus, but then it kind of goes forward and you realize, okay, it's not Solidus. So I was like, that would have blown my mind even more. I was like, whoa.
Like, I mean, if we can just go back to what you say about putting your name in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the fuck was happening.
I thought it was to do with like the Metal Gear Online side.
Yeah, I think that was the initial conclusion that everybody seems to have drawn. It's like, okay, I know there's an online component to this.
Even when we played it at preview, this is way before it was out and way before the review stuff. When we were doing it, when we were like, there was quite a few press there, we were like, okay, maybe this is for the online stuff.
Yeah.
But little did we know it fucking wasn't.
Yeah. Like the fact that got brought back in such a way that as soon as that happened, you kind of go, oh Christ. Like when you go back into the hospital and it says like, this is you as you remember, and this is you from now on. Yeah. You kind of go, oh shit. And then like, when you see that picture, you just go like, like my mind was completely blown at that point. Like, it's just incredible.
Because on the back it says Vic Boss, and that's a reference back to I think Peace
That's,
Walker, where
yes, Peace Walker, yeah.
Peace Walker, yeah. So it's maybe it all links together, which is so lovely. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. It really was.
Yeah, and like the fact that if you were to follow this story now from Snake Eater all the way through to the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, there is a constant thread there.
Yeah.
Which now, I mean, if you look at it in terms of the fact that Big Boss, was hidden away in secret, like, if you want to go down that route, yes, that thread's still there. But if you follow the legend of Big Boss, like, I'm presuming that what I took from it at the end is that the legend of Big Boss is still, what the medic or what Venom Snake created.
Yeah.
And just while I've said Big Boss and Venom Snake in the same sentence, I don't know how many people would have realised this, but in that last cutscene where you... not the last cutscene, in the Mission 46, the start of it, where you have your cast list, there's Venom Snake, and then a couple of like other characters come up, and then Big Boss comes up.
Yeah.
Like that, it's such a subtle thing where I don't think like anybody would have noticed it. I didn't notice it until somebody mentioned it to me. And I just thought, fucking hell, like if you're on the ball, like, and you're purposely looking for things,
you will find it. You will like Kojima always has these little breadcrumbs spread like
it's right in front of your face the whole time.
Yeah.
So okay, right. There
was a point I was going to make, but it's totally left my mind. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
I was just going to say like the some of the stuff in the game. Obviously we've said about like the mechanics and stuff like that. One thing that did surprise me about how much of it was in there is like licensed music.
Yeah, the
soundtrack to this game is awesome.
They always pay some big bucks for that. That probably cost a huge part of the 80 million, I imagine.
Yeah, like some of the licensed tracks in that. I think one of the most confusing ones was The Cure, because that didn't actually come out till late the 90s. Which, I mean, as soon as I found out that was in the game, like some people were saying, "Oh, it's a time travel story." It's like, Big Boss has gone back. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, just maybe they've kind of let that one
Doc
slip.
Turns up with his DeLorean.
In his DeLorean. Yeah,
He's like,
this isn't Lego
Big
Dimensions,
Boss,
man. This is not Lego Dimensions. For fuck's sake. But like, yeah, like the sheer attention to detail in this game, it's phenomenal.
Sorry. I remember my point.
Go for it.
Before I forget. Now you know why, and this is why I stayed quiet about it when you were asking me about it as well in our video review. Now you know why Kiefer doesn't have that much in terms of voice work, because this is like basically a medic trying to be Big Boss. So like he's not got the like, even though they look the same. When you have the cutscene at the end, there's a bit of difference about Big Boss. He looks more authoritative. He looks more confident in the way he's like doing stuff. Whereas you, Venom Snake, obviously like you're a hardened soldier and this and that. But you're not as charismatic and authoritative and I guess
that's a fair point. Yeah,
legendary.
Yeah.
It just you can. I sense that difference.
Yeah,
and that's why he's not speaking as much as people are probably saying he should, because this guy's just basically been thrust into this situation. Yeah, he believes he's Big Boss, but he's still like, whoa, kind of like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So you can, well, from my point of view, I can understand why he has the dialogue that he has.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I personally, I probably would have preferred David Hayter to come back and have voiced the whole thing, but there was
something happened there, didn't it? Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was a case of Konami turning around and going to Kojima, look, we need a big name voice actor for this because that's the big thing that's happening at the moment, and it's whatever's happened. There's been a fallout. It's a shame. It is disappointing because I'm a fan of Hayter's work, and I think he will always to me be the voice of Snake. So
Definitely. Yeah.
it's that's one slight downside to the game. But the I can't remember what point I was going to make now. Bastard, man. Shit. Some of the stuff like that you find out through the tapes and things like that.
Yes.
Like there are a bunch of tapes that you get when you finish Mission 46.
The truth records.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a conversation in there between Miller and Ocelot, which basically says, oh no, this is in the conversation after.
This is towards the end.
Yeah, this is the conversation at the end of the game. Yeah, like the sort of traditional phone sequence in the end of the Metal Gear Solid bit.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
When you have that conversation and it's like Miller's talking to Ocelot and saying, "Look, I'm gonna stick by Venom Snake. Like he's our new big boss because he's the guy that's." Created all this for us. He is big boss to me. The other guys just
pissed off.
Yeah, the other guys just fucked off and left us. Like this new guy is my big boss.
And they had a conversation about the kids as well, and
like
how they'll meet in the future, and then one of them will have to kill one another. It's like yes,
yeah,
yes.
That's a little bit on the nose, but like for a fan, you're just that there going, this is so good.
Yes.
So the bit that I was going to ask you about, where do you think that conversation took place? Like, do you think that was at the start of the game or at the end of the game? Because I've heard it from both points, from both sides, and I think it could, like, if it's at the very end of the game when you discover.
I think it'll be towards the end, because if it was towards the start, Miller's doing a hell of an acting job.
I mean, this is the point where I kind of think it could have been towards that conversation could have been when Ocelot's pulled him back and when Ocelot's taken him from the hospital back to Mother Base, and it's when you're starting your sort of career as Big Boss, like as Venom Snake.
Yeah,
I think that was happening around then, because it kind of gives you that understanding of why Miller's got such a shitty attitude throughout the game to a lot of different people. That's my take on it. I think to myself, there's definite friction between Ocelot and Miller at points in the game.
Could be.
And the weird thing about this, Ocelot's the mediator, like in the game, like throughout the whole of Metal Gear, like Ocelot's been this fucking badass on the other team. He's not afraid to voice his opinion. He's not afraid to give people shit, and he's been the antagonist. And then in this, he's the mediator. He's the guy in the middle, basically saying, come on, this is enough.
I think he always does. Ocelot always does what he feels is best for him in that situation. That's his character. I mean, he's been a double agent. He's been a triple agent. He'll always do what's best for him in what situation. And if you think about it, the way things go, it works out pretty well for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's kind of that's, yeah, despite losing his arm.
Yeah,
but like I thought to myself, if that's taking place at the start of the game, like it explains why Miller sticks with Big Boss, and it explains why. Miller sticks with Venom Snake, and ultimately, when you do infiltrate Outer Heaven in Metal Gear, it explains why Miller is kind of telling you that Big Boss is this great guy and everything else, and then at the end of it, when he's like the heel turn, if you like, when you get to that point, you go like, oh well, okay, and Miller's genuinely like shocked because of the fact that he's had this affinity for this guy for 30 odd years.
Maybe.
I mean,
you might have a point.
Again, you've got that that open-ended nature of it, where it could be.
That's what I love.
As the players found out, or as does this explain why they act the way they do throughout the whole game? Who knows? And
yes, that's the open-endedness. Like I love where it breeds discussion, where it breeds, and that's what I guess some of the best creators in any entertainment do. They don't leave every thread answered. I think no answer is going to please everyone 100%, and that's why the open-endedness of these situations are good sometimes. That's why people, a lot of people. This is going on a completely different tangent, but a lot of people hated Lost, like for the way it was always leaving things unanswered.
Yeah.
I love Lost. So I'm a guy who loves, using my imagination, using the things and like having discussions with other fans and whatnot. And that's kind of what Metal Gear is like too. People will have their different interpretations of certain things, and that breeds discussion. It breeds like just the one part we're having a discussion about Ocelot here, and it's just and Miller, sorry, it's just got two different sides to it.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
Yeah, and I honestly think it was that discussion. It basically points to why there is that friction and why
could be right
throughout the game. As I've said, Miller's in the middle of trying to get answers from Huey, who, by the way, is a fucking dick.
Huey, with his child, obviously who he knows Hal later on, and his wife, well, his partner, just fucking sticking her in a tube essentially.
Well, I think that was obviously the Chrysalis, the AI pod from Peace Walker. But,
yeah.
I mean, you've always had a sympathy for the Emmerichs in these games,
but this guy's a knob.
But that guy's a dick.
Yeah,
like I don't know whether that's kind of the manipulation of the story into making you think the guy's a dick, or whether he's genuinely on the outside and going, "Don't you see? You guys are all fucking insane."
But that's the thing. We are the bad guys. We're playing as the bad guys.
Yeah,
we are playing. So maybe he is like right. He's like, yeah, you guys are dicks. It's you are the who are fucked up.
Yeah,
and they send him away on a fucking boat, and it's like, yeah, you are the demon. It's been said in like all these trailers and pre-market stuff. You are the demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, quickly, the stuff about the demon side of things that I've looked at. I bought when the game launched. I bought the collector's edition guide as well because I wanted the art print that was inside it, and I love the artwork that's around it. So after finishing the game, I kind of read through it a little bit, and I looked at some of the stuff and the demon meter and things like that in the game. There's been stuff that's come out about it and said, the game judges you as you play it.
Yeah.
That system's nuts. Like, you've got your hero rank. It doesn't really tell you what that's about. But when you have, if you build a nuke that you can do at the end, like if you build a nuke, you can do that, and it will make the horn in your head come so far out, and you'll just be covered in blood constantly. No matter how many times you shower, that won't get rid of it. Shit like that. It's just it's supernatural. It's crazy. It's not in any way based in reality, but you've got that element of it, and it's another system where you go like, okay, that's not really explained in the game, but it doesn't really need to be, because
no, of course not.
That's just one of those things that if something happens in the game, you'll just look at it and go, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
And it won't, I don't think it affects gameplay that much.
No.
But it's just a little twitch, a little visual twist thing, on things. Yeah,
yes, visual things give you a bit of feedback on how you're on how you're playing the game, I guess.
Yeah,
the way you've done things, or certain decisions you've made throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's again the little touches that Kojima's usually good at, and that's just one of them.
Yeah. The thing that I think is probably a little bit lacking is the. And again, this comes down to the late game stuff. Is the system where you can build a nuke, or you can use it for breaking down nuclear weapons and getting rid of them. To me, it didn't seem like there was much point in that. Like, there's no end game for that.
Maybe it tied into some of the stuff that was supposed to be, in the game somehow. Yeah. If this peace chapter did exist, because obviously there was, it seems like there was something around nuclear, and obviously it didn't come to fruition in the end. Maybe they didn't have enough time, or Konami were like, yeah, stop, that's it.
Stop spending our money.
Yeah, stop spending our money. And then he was like, or he was just being spiteful and just stuck some data in there on the PC version where people will find the artwork for it and whatnot. But yeah, it's with Kojima, there's so much to look into, so much to analyze. People are doing like, so there was something I was reading today. People are still analyzing different parts. People are analyzing the hexadecimal code for the
For
lens,
the color
for the
scheme,
lens flare. It's like whoa,
yeah,
and then like I think someone figured out that some of the code translated to like truth. Man who sold the world is not the last mission, but that was I think proven to be bullshit. But people will find what they're looking for, even if it's not there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, but that's what he does. That's what he does. He breeds this, and he loves it.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Metal Gear Solid 5 in a vacuum, it's incredible. Like, as I've said many times,
it's the best game this year. I'm confident in saying that right now. We're recording this on 1st of October. Fallout 4, whatever comes next, Assassin's Creed, Star Wars. This is the best game of the year.
Tony Hawk's 5.
Tony Hawk's 5.
There is no doubt it's going to sweep the boards at every game of the
year.
discussion.
Yep, game of the year. And even when it comes to probably game of the generation later on, it will be up there.
Oh, totally. Like, as I say, from every point of view, other than a Metal Gear fan who wanted a lot more in terms of like the story and everything. In literally every other point, this is the best game of all time.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, we've not even hit Metal Gear Online yet. That's another kettle of fish entirely.
I think I'm not. I'm looking forward to playing it, but I don't have high hopes. I'll be honest.
Well, it's they were never that. They were never that
don't
amazing.
do online very well. Let's be honest.
No, I mean the servers for the mother-based stuff have been absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't want to end this on a downer. So we'll talk a little bit more about blowing smoke up Kojima's arse in a few minutes. But the one thing that I did criticize, and I think I said this on the podcast that we had as well, the only criticism I have in a gameplay sense is the rate at which you accrue your materials for your mother base.
Oh yeah.
Like, it is glacially slow. There is no reason for it to be that slow or that methodical, other than to put microtransactions in the game just to speed it up.
Yeah.
To me, that's shitty. Like, there's no excuse for that. Like, me and you, we dropped 100 quid on the collector's edition.
We did.
You dropped 300 and whatever quid on
I did.
on a new console. It's like, there are people that will be spending hundreds of pounds on this game, like so much on this game. And I know that's not that's no excuse to say, oh well, you shouldn't spend that much on a game. But
yeah.
Like, if you've got people, if you're putting a £100 collector's edition out, don't put fucking microtransactions in your game.
Yeah.
That's not just to Konami, that's not just to Kojima, that's not just to anybody making Metal Gear games. That's to everyone, like a blanket statement. Don't put microtransactions in your game if your game is full price.
Yeah.
That being said, the mother base stuff, I essentially stopped doing it because I just thought, what, I'll fold some people back to the base. I've built as much as I can. I'm not going to actively seek out ways to try and get quicker fuel resources, because fuel resources is the biggest problem in that game.
Yeah, you need a lot of fuel to do stuff.
Yeah, like if you want to build a nuke, which as I've said,
money is not too much of a problem actually.
No, GMP's not an issue at all.
Yeah,
like, I think
I'm always maxed out. Actually.
Yeah, I had like one instance where I thought GMP was going to get a little bit low, but everything else is plentiful. is a little bit limited. But the GMP is plentiful, but like the fuel is just a fucking nightmare to find. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we should probably start wrapping it up because we've been gushing for an hour. But ultimately the huge twist in the game is you're not playing as Big Boss, you're playing as a fake Big Boss. If you'd have told me that before the game came out, I would have told you that you were insane. But it's probably going to be all right because it's Kojima. The fact that it played out the way that it did, was beautiful. Like you've been led into this false sense that you are this legendary hero, and it's like Ocelot says at the start, let the legend come back to life.
Yeah, that's another hint. There you go.
Yeah, like you are the legend that is Big Boss. You are playing this game as if you are Big Boss. Yeah, totally.
The name.
And all the way through the game, you have those little hints of punished Venom Snake, and it's like, right, okay, why isn't it Big Boss? Why isn't that? But you don't think about it because everything else is just so good and you're enjoying the rest of the game. And the resolution of the game, personally, like my point of view is that I echo a lot of the criticisms that are out there, and I echo the point of view that I don't think this game is finished. I don't think it's... I think the reason that they fell out, like the reason that Kojima's leaving, is because he essentially wanted a little bit more time to get everything that he wanted in this game.
I think he if he was given more time, he'd need more time. If you know what I mean?
It's a never-ending quest. But I think that the point is that I personally feel like there's probably a lot more that's almost finished and maybe in a state to go at some point. But I think it's semi well known that Kojima's leaving at the end of December. Like I think Jeff Keighley kind of came out with that at E3 and said, look, he's leaving in December. So he's got 3 full months at this point. So
he's chilling, mate. He's chilling. He's not doing anything. He's chilling.
Yeah. So he's obviously finalising the bits for MGO, and it's like, okay, cool. You've got a lot of stuff to do for that, but I don't think we'll ever see literally everything that he wanted to produce for this game. And
I don't think we'll ever see that. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, obviously everything gets cut from, things get cut from games all the time.
This is games development, yeah. Things get cut, things get stopped. It happens.
I just think the way that the late game wraps up, you have this methodically paced game all the way through from from mission 1 through to mission 24 or 25, and then like 25 to 32, 25, where you've basically the arc where you go after Skullface and fight Sahelanthropus. It's a very, very, very quick progression in terms of the rest of the game, and it jumps up a gear like massively. Like in that last set of missions, you meet Code Talker, you meet Eli, you do a lot of other stuff. You find out about so much of the game. You find out about Sahelanthropus, you find out loads of other stuff, and I mean, one of the most disappointing things about the game is that he doesn't say Metal Gear. That's probably one of the things that I thought. I just thought to myself, if that should be in there somewhere. But like the rest of it, everything leading up to that point and everything that follows that point from a story point of view drags it way up. Like that, it's phenomenal. It's just those little bits that, like the if you play up to the point where you fight Metal Gear and say, that's it, I'm done with the game, I can thoroughly understand why people think that game just like very suddenly ends and there's nothing else. Like at that point, I'm not going to lie, I thought I was a little bit gutted and I was thinking, this is a bit naff. But I carried on with it and I did the other stuff, and it's, like I say, now I think it's one of the best games of all time. Like the
Mission 43.
Mission 43. Which one was that?
The one where you have to shoot your own soldiers.
Fucked up.
Yeah,
that's so fucked up. Like that.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, like I mean, again, there's a point to be made that you could potentially have more of an emotional investment if the mother base stuff was more than just get this guy on a balloon, take him back to your base, and then send him out to do some stuff.
I think it all depends on how much you came back to your mother base.
Yeah, like if you wanted to, again, it's you get out of it what you put into it. But some of those moments, like the bit where they're all saluting you, going like, "We understand," like we understand what you've got to do. You go, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't want to do this."
Yeah,
but when you get
then you've got Huey down there saying, "Oh, you killing your own men? How dare you?"
Yeah,
blah, blah,
but
blah.
like that point where you get the night vision goggles and they, he just says, only shoot the ones with the parasite, with the signs of the
Fucking everyone.
And you get the first one, you're like, oh shit, I've got to shoot him. Okay, right, fine, bang, there you go, he's dead. Right, turn the corner, it's like, oh, he's infected too. Shit, I've got to kill him. And then very quickly it dawns on you. You go like, oh, I'm gonna have to kill everyone.
Yeah,
it's a bit fucked up. But I mean, this is I think it's been said elsewhere, but it makes me even more disappointed that Silent Hills isn't going to be a thing, because
there was that, and there was the one where you find out about the vocal cord parasites, where you go to the devil's house and whatnot. I thought that was a brilliant mission.
Really creepy. Really creepy.
Superb. It was. Yeah, it's a shame that there's going to be, or probably will be, no Silent Hills. We'll see in the future, I guess.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up for me, it's I still believe what I wrote in my review. I reviewed the game that I played, not the game that I didn't. And it's still, for me, I said, this is completely no exaggeration, one of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got people that are playing the game that, have never played a Metal Gear Solid game since Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation, and they're coming to me and saying, mate, this is fucking incredible.
It's what Ubisoft have been trying to do with Assassin's Creed and Far Cry for years.
It's what everybody has been trying to do with everything.
And Kojima comes along and is like, yep, done.
It's the best Far Cry in years. It's the best Assassin's Creed in years. It's the best Metal Gear in years.
I guarantee you GTA will take some sort of elements of what Kojima's done.
Yeah.
Not copy straight up, but they'll take some mechanics here and there. In the next GTA, you'll find it there.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. This will shape a lot of games going forward.
Yeah.
Because it's very rare that you'll get somebody that nails open world, and it's even rarer that you find someone that nails open world on their first attempt at it, and that's exactly what Kojima's done.
Yeah.
But
brilliant.
story wise, you've stated your case. I've stated mine. I think.
Yeah. Of course, everyone's gonna have different opinions. I think.
But I think that fundamentally, we're both huge Metal Gear fans. We've taken different things out of the game, and we both admit that it's. We both say that it's probably by far and away it's the best game this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately what he set out to do. Whether
not only that, I think he's creating one of the best games that you'll come across in this medium, which is it's brilliant. There's no hype, there's no praise that I can give it that would it's been said in my review, and I'll repeat it again. One of the best games ever made. Yeah.
I mean, I think that if Roger Ebert was still alive, this is the game that you give him to say, fuck you, games are art.
Yeah.
Literally everything about this game, in terms of, as I said at the start of it, the gameplay and the mechanics and the technical aspects of this game, flawless. But that's probably going to wrap us up, unless there's anything that you can think that we've missed or.
No, not really. I think we've kind of hit every spoiler point. We talked about the end. We talked about the beginning. We talked about the middle. We talked about everything. So yeah, we spent a lot of time here now. So
I mean, if there are any things that people pick up and say, what do you think about that? If you stick something in the comments, or I would say tweet us, but people get shitty about posting the fact that Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII. So
still,
that game's 20 years old. So probably maybe give that a.
And Dumbledore dies apparently as well.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I've not even. Oh man, yeah.
Snape kills him apparently. Which is, yeah.
Wait, Snake or Snape?
Well, I don't know. Metal Gear. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, we can't recommend this game highly enough. Obviously, if you've made it this far, congratulations, because I think we've probably just been rambling for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah.
In terms of spoilers, if there's anything that you guys want to discuss, let us know. But
always happy to discuss.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 or Metal Gear Solid V, whichever way you want to look at it. That's our SPOILERCAST done. Hopefully, any future discussions and podcasts and stuff like that, we might not talk about it anymore. So, yeah. All right. Thanks for joining me, dude, and
pleasure.
we'll catch you soon. Bye.